guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is the number one podcast. I am your host, Jake Shannon. And handle Ask Coach Jake. Hit me up. Everybody on Instagram already blowing up. What's up, Blake? What's up, Priz? Chill guy. Happy to see you guys. Hit me up in the comments. You have questions. Big Nick, dude. Happy to see you, bro. Nice work. Thank you for getting out on the mat and showing people what it's about this weekend. Really proud of you, man. Appreciate your contributions to the sport. It's important what you're doing. Oh, wait, he's doing a request. Let's see here. I'm going to try this. I haven't done this yet. If you request, go live. What's up, Nick? Let's see. Other people may not be able to hear you, unfortunately, is the problem. And I don't even know if I have my volume up. Let me turn. What's up, Big Nick? How you doing, brother?
Not much, Jake. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm not sure if everybody else can hear you because we're doing more than just Instagram. I'm like on 2 YouTube channels, 2 Facebook channels, all over. But dude, hey, great showing. Glad you went out there, out to Arizona. How'd you feel, buddy?
I feel great. I did the show and it was great. I feel great. I went there. I had a lot of fun. I did the in and out. I got there on Friday morning and I checked out on a red eye on Saturday night.
Okay, dude. Listen,
so like in and out.
So let me ask you something because you're one of the guys that has really thrown yourself into the rule set and really challenged yourself with the rule set. I'm curious about your perspective, actually. What do you think is what is the difference between, say, like the King of Catch or any of the Catch as Catch Can rule set competitions you've done? Because they've all been based off of the rule set that I developed with Carl Gotch. How do you think that stacks up versus other grappling competitions that you've done? What would you say is the difference?
I gotta say the King of Catch Wrestling, all of them are all intense because there's a lot of sneaky moves I gotta watch out for than other moves.
So more intense because there's actually 2 ways of winning, not just submission, but as well the pin.
Oh yeah, it's all good. I love it. I love to mix them all up.
Yeah, I love how game you are, dude. And I really appreciate it because that's what it takes is people willing to just step on the mat and challenge themselves against the rule set because it is definitely a challenging rule set.
I'm actually competing this week again, actually.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. I love it.
I mean, there's like 2 decisions I might do. Either NAGA Pittsburgh or the Sambo Tournament South Carolina.
All right. Which one are you leaning towards?
I'm going to make my decision on Wednesday, whether it's going to be either one.
All right. Well, guys, check out Nick on Facebook or on Instagram, Nick Kajia. You guys could find him and find out what he's going to do. Nick, great job. I'm glad you came out and appreciate all your guts to get out there and really challenge yourself and push. It's great.
Thank you so much, Jake. Have a good day, sir.
All right, pal. Take care.
Bye.
Okay, so I have no idea how to hang this up, so I'm hoping. There we go. Nick figured it out. I don't know how to do that. For you guys who are out in YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, I don't know if you could hear that. That was Nick, Nick Kajia. He's kind of a stalwart on the grappling scene, but the Catch as Catch Can, he's really thrown himself into competitions. Most of the competitions that I've been a part of, he's been a part of. And I really appreciate what he brings to it every single time. He is a great, great guy. So I do want to talk. So let's go back here. I missed a bunch of comments. Alex said we can hear. I know you guys on Instagram can hear. Kendo Jedi, what's up, CWO? Yes, sir. Number 1. Yeah, you follow Nick. He's great. Let's get over to the chat here. Let me see what's going on the other chat. I don't think I see anybody. Yeah. Okay. So I want to talk today about coaching, right? The importance of coaching. And what is coaching? How is it different than, say, teaching or, anything else? What is a coach? And I ask you guys, I have my own definitions that I think are pretty good, but I would love to hear from you guys. If you have some, throw it up in the chat. I will, relay it until I could really figure out how to do a call-in thing. Instagram's got it great. I'm not quite sure how to do it with this service that I use to broadcast out. So anyway, let me know. What do you think is coaching? Okay. I always like going not just to the definition of a word, I like going to the etymological root, which etymology is the history of the definition, not just the definition, because sometimes words change, right? Like the word liberal has changed. It used to mean originally, like when John Locke and these guys were talking about liberal philosophy, they were talking about basically what you call a libertarian today, which is very different. A libertarian today is very different than a liberal today. So the meaning has changed over time. Now, liberal tends to mean socialist, progressive, that kind of thing, right? So the history and the meaning of these words are crucial, I think, right? Because words are how we communicate. Like maybe you're psychic, maybe I'm psychic. I don't know about any of that shit. But I do know that I could share with you the content of my brain through words and symbols and language and things like this, video and whatnot, right? So that's how we actually get the content from each other's brains so we know what's going on. So it's important, right? Like any debate, hopefully. I mean, most people don't know these things anymore, sadly, and it's basic. But like, say you're going to have a debate, you're supposed to agree on terms, like the meaning of the words you're going to use before the debate, so there's no wiggle room or argument because somebody's using the word in a different way than the other person is using it, right? So it's important if you want to actually communicate with people to be on the same page, right? Page words to come to terms, right? Terms. So for me, the word coach, originally the word coach, we all know coach now from like this sporting context, like Gus D'Amato for Mike Tyson or Vince Lombardi in football, right? Or for me, like Billy Robinson or Wade Chalice, or these are guys that I consider coaches and have helped me a lot. Grant Cardone is my coach, like by choice. Like, I mean, I'm very proud of that as well. Like, I'm proud of being with Billy and Wade. I've been very proud to learn under Grant. I'm one of 55 people certified 10x by Grant as an affiliate of his, as a licensee. So on the whole planet. But what does that mean to be a coach? Right? And how is that different than, say, being a teacher? Why do I call one person a teacher and another person a coach? So the history of the meaning of the word coach, we can trace it back. There's just type into the whatever, Google or whatever your search engine. What's up, Scott? What's up, Gabe? JCP, Amir, JB Cole, Kauta Watanabe, Seth. Hey guys, what's up? What's up, Riskiana? Good to see you. So the history of the meaning of the word is called, that's the subject of that study is called etymology. I was very fortunate to stumble onto it because my undergraduate degree is in English. And honestly, like, it's kind of a bit of a basket weaving degree. It's not super hard, but the biggest thing that I took from it was, one, being able to write. And that's why I've written well over a dozen books, published a dozen books, 2 of them bestsellers in their categories on Amazon. Because of my ability to write, which came from that degree, as well as I learned about something called the Oxford English Dictionary. Okay. Now, the Oxford English Dictionary is very expensive. You have to actually, it's like a membership website, costs like a couple $100 a year, but it's the authoritative history of the meanings of the words in English. Okay. Now, you could type etymological dictionary, and I think it takes you to Etym Online, ETYMonline.com, which is fantastic. That's who I use. I'm not going to pay the OED. But the history and the meaning of the word coach, right? We're all so used to it meaning like athletic coach or business coach or something like that. Tony Robbins or some shit. So, but the history coach, it's like the Wells Fargo logo. It's a stage coach. It's a carriage. It's something that gets you from point A to point B. That's the original meaning of the word coach. Okay. And that got transferred over metaphorically for tutors. And this is probably like in the 1700s. You can look it up to confirm what I'm saying. But around that time in the 1700s, they started using the word coach as a metaphor for a tutor, somebody who gets you from point A to point B. Okay. Now, what is that? What is getting you from point A to point B? It's really results oriented, right? I don't get in a car or a plane or a carriage or a stagecoach or whatever for it to make me feel better, or so I feel understood, or for participation trophies. It's supposed to get me from one place to another, where I am now and where I want to be. I personally feel that is very apt. So you're not a counselor, a coach. And a teacher, is that supposed to get you from point A to point B? No. Right? Let me look up the etymological definition of teacher. A teacher, by the way, it's more geared around knowledge, the testing of knowledge, right? So it's not about performance per se, although performance on a test might be relevant, but it's more about what do you know, which is crucial. And that is a part of coaching. So I would argue that perhaps coaching is bigger than teaching. Okay. So let's look up this teacher. I'm just going into Google and typing teacher etymology, and it'll pop up Etym Online. What's up, Jazz? Dude, got the UK in the house. Okay, so here's Etym Online, as I said. Teacher, one who teaches, from the 1300s. So this is an old term. It was used earlier in a sense of an index finger. That's kind of interesting, right? So because it's a pointer. So I'm looking here at the etymology, not of teacher, but of teach. Old English, tekan, past tense, tate, and it means to show, point out, declare, or demonstrate. Okay, so it's, hey, that, not this, or this word is assigned to that, or this means that. So it's pointing. Okay, so teaching means to point out. Coach, to coach, let's see. Okay, so to coach, verb. The noun is from the 1550s, so it's a newer word because of technology. They didn't maybe have coaches, right? Carriages, stage coaches. It started meaning something else. So the verb comes from 1610. So I was off by a century, 1600s, to convey in a coach, meaning to tutor, give private instruction, or prepare someone for an exam or a contest. Okay, so in coaching, let's see. Really, coaching came into prominence in 1849, though, as a special instruction or training for an exam or athletic contest. Okay, so training for an exam. Does the teacher train you for the exam? No, they give you the information and then you have to train on your own. Is that fair to say? I mean, I don't know if I'm right or wrong here. What's up, Smooth J? Big Energy, Los RR81. Good to see you guys. So today we're talking about coaching, right? Like, what is it and what's the importance of it? So I like to start with definitions, and I like particularly not just definitions. I like to start with the history and the meaning of the word. I think there's so much power. It's almost magical, right? I don't know how many people out there have magical thinking. I would venture to say those of you that consider yourself religious have some magical thinking, and not necessarily all of those that are religious. I'm not religious, but I do think there is something undescribable that is best described as magic, for lack of a better term. Okay. So it's kind of a catch-all of things that are unusual, anomalistic, that kind of stuff. What's up, Lyrically Indigenous? Good to see you. So a coach versus a teacher. A teacher points things out, gives you the information, okay, and will administer the exam. But the coach prepares you for the exam or prepares you for an athletic contest, right? So the coach is concerned with your performance. The teacher is there to point things out and give you the information and test you. Do you see the difference? I think it's important because I believe, and I'm grateful now, like it's very interesting to me now. There are coaches for everything. Oh, how do I clip my fingernails? I'm a fingernail coach. Oh, how do I wipe my butt? Oh, I'm a wipe my butt. Like there's coaches for everything. Okay. And to a certain point, it's ridiculous. But you know what? If there's no demand for it, then those people can call themselves coaches and no harm, no foul. But what if there are needs for people to be coached in certain endeavors, right? And perhaps the coaching way is better than the teaching way. So let me ask you something. Let's take this to business. We know that nobody likes to have a boss. Very few. I think it's fair to say nobody likes to be bossed. Nobody likes their boss. Like the term boss is already like laden with so much meaning. I'm sorry, I'm on a roll on this etymologically. Let's look up boss. Okay. Boss. Okay. So an overseer, one who employs or oversees workers. From the Dutch word baas, B-A-A-S, which means a master. Okay, so if you have a master, doesn't that mean you're a slave? I don't know anybody who thinks that slavery is cool. If you think slavery is cool, man, you're on the wrong podcast. Because I'm into freedom, I'm into liberty for everyone, I think. But, that requires responsibility, right? Because, slaves, the plantation provided a home, like a roof, provided food, prison, food, shelter, okay? But you're not free. And I think that's something that we have to understand, that to be free, you have to take responsibility for yourself. And to be free and to be responsible for yourself, we don't come with that knowledge baked in. This is where coaching matters. So you ask any high-level athlete, like world-class athlete, they have coaches, right? Like who are the sisters in tennis? Coaches. Basketball players, like Kobe, Michael Jordan, had Tim Grover, had all these other people to coach them. In business, you have coaches. This is how you get better. And you have to understand, right? Like coaching is its own thing. There are fantastic athletes that cannot coach for a damn. Okay. And there are fantastic coaches that never won a championship. This is important. Look at Gus D'Amato with Mike Tyson. Perfect pairing of athlete, performer, and coach. Okay. So coaching, in my mind, nobody wants a boss, a master, okay, an overseer. I don't know anybody who wants that. If you do, let me know in the chat. I don't know a single person who's into that crap. Okay. I don't know anybody who wants to be managed. Do you want a manager? Is that something like, oh my God, I want to work for you because I want to be managed? Honestly, nobody in their right fucking mind wants to be managed either. Let's look up manager. These are awful terms, man. Okay. Manager, one who directs or controls. Do you want to be directed or controlled? Most people don't. Now you might need it a little bit, but do you actually want it, or do you want to like be taught and learn and have somebody teach you how to do these things, to learn how to learn, right? Do you get where I'm going? Nobody wants a boss. Nobody wants a manager, but people do seek out coaches. And what is that difference? I think it's crucial and important, right? Because so last week I was gone. I was up in the Uinta Mountains of Utah, past Heber, for those of you who don't know. Oh, Athletic Lifting is saying people who want an easier job love the manager and boss. I've met people who loved working at Amazon, believe it or not. And that is fair. Okay. I'm going to be honest. Like, I have a company and I hire people, and I have to have people that want to be want to be working there. But I will say this. Do you think you'll get better performance out of an employee being a manager or a boss or being their coach? There's a big shift happening, and I am grateful for it because I've been a coach since 2003 athletically, and I've been a coach in business since 2011, right? So almost 20 years athletically, I've been perfecting the craft of coaching. And then I expanded out of athletic coaching, which catch as catch can, right? Coaching Catch is the name of my program I co-developed with Billy Robinson, coachingcatch.com. But then I expanded my coaching out into business coaching. In 2011 is when I really started coaching people in business as well. And to me, this is a crucial shift that needs to happen. I think that you're going to get, even those people like Athletic Lifting is talking about these people at Amazon and that liked having a boss or a manager. I guarantee you, like I was just at I had to speak at a conference it's called the Florida Attractions Association. My wife and I were invited to come and speak because, we have a leadership position because of a software company that she really runs most of it. I'm like, I do business development and help it grow and scale, basically coaching. Okay. But I'm a little more invested because it's, my wife's business. However, that said, we were invited to speak, right? And one of the fellow speakers brought up a very interesting statistic. And let me see if I can actually find it. I took a screen grab of the statistic because I really thought it was so freaking cool. Here it is. So right now, in case you don't know, there is a hiring shortage. Is everybody aware of that? Hopefully. What's up, Dan Attack? What's up, California user 805? There's a hiring shortage. So people who run companies are having a hell of a time finding people to employ, right? Because what you have to understand is there's a couple of shifts that are happening. There's so many parallels between our economy and Japan. Japan's about 10 years ahead of where we are in terms of how their central bank has done things. This illusion of inflation, sure, some prices are going up, but a lot of other prices are actually going down. This deflationary spiral that's going on. Age demographics. So, for example, the number of young people is vastly outnumbered in Japan by the number of old people. This is happening here as well with the boomers and the millennials and the Gen Zs. Okay. So this is why, for example, Social Security is going to be bankrupt because Social Security was not set up like every person gets their own account and the money that gets pulled from your bank and goes into Social Security as a tax from withholding doesn't go into your personal account. It just goes into this big pot and they spend it. Okay. That is not going to be there for even Gen X people like myself. It's gone because all the boomers are taking it. There's more people. So the gist is it's right now we're in a hiring shortage. Like employees have all the power. Okay. So Dave Hollenbeck is popping in. What'd you say? Hey, brother, enlighten me to head to Palm Springs. I have no idea what that means. Go to Palm Springs. I don't know if I'm enlightening you. But the reason is because there are fewer of these workers. We also live in a time where a lot of stuff is getting automated. Okay, so younger people like millennials, like Gen Z, they don't have to work. Do you understand? There's this Uberization where they can kind of be like, oh, screw it. I'm not going to go have a boss, have a manager, be controlled and directed, be a slave. I'm not going to do that. I could just go do Uber or Uber Eats or, I could do these other kind of gigs, like this gig economy. And so the other jobs are like getting hammered. They're having a hard time finding help. Now, what's interesting is how things have shifted, right? So when you hire, this woman was a HR person. I mean, I can't remember her name is Nicole Anderson or something. I think she wrote this book called HR is Sexy. I've not read it. But she was dropping some interesting statistics from an HR perspective in terms of hiring. Like, what are people actually looking for? What is drawing the young people? And this is relevant to coaching, so bear with me. Health benefits, right? Like older generation, it was like, that was, hey man, they got health benefits, I'm going to take this job. That's actually down from 2%. People really aren't motivated by it. Like you could say, hey, we got health benefits. People would be like, so what? 2% less actually care about that than the prior year. Retirement benefits. See what I'm saying about Social Security? People aren't stupid. That's actually up 16%. That's what's interesting to these younger people. But what does that mean? What does that mean when you actually, let's say you're an employer or you're a business owner? What does that mean? That means, honestly, really, that you care about the people you're working with, not just right now, but in their future when they want to retire. So they're like looking for a company that cares about them in the future. That's what retirement really means, right? Okay, so employee leave. So retirement's up 16%, health benefits down 2%, leave is down 1%. Flexible work, okay, so that means like the Zoom shit, the Uber stuff I'm talking about, that's down 13% from last year, but it's still up 23% from 2019. So I think it's important to look at that. Like people want flexibility. They want somebody who cares about their future. Okay, so what's flexibility? Freedom. That's really what that is the freedom, not being controlled, not being told what to do all day long. As long as the shit gets done, that's what's important, not being told what to do all day. Here's the one that's very interesting and relevant to coaching. Okay, I'll give you one more. Wellness benefit, which is with health. So, like that's like mental health shit or going to the acupuncturist or whatever. Wellness stuff. Meditation. Down 16%. They do not really care about that either. Okay. That's down as much as retirement is up. These people are practical. They don't care about, oh yeah, meditate and my chakras and shit like that. They want to know somebody's going to care. Okay. But here's the kicker. The one that's up the biggest, 28%. That's almost double all the other ones, right? 16% was the highest. This is 28%. That's almost twice as important. Is professional development. Professional development. Now, bear with me. Does a boss typically, like when you think of a boss, is like professional development one of the things that they really seem to care about? No. A manager, do they really tend to care about your profession? No. Right? A coach. Does a coach care about your development? Do you see what I'm saying? So, there's a very great book that has basically reiterated everything that I'm saying and have said for a number of years. The book is new, and I'm glad it came out. But it's put out by the Gallup organization. It's called "It's the Manager." That's backwards for you people on Instagram. Sorry, "It's the Manager." It's by Jim Clifton and Jim Harder, and the subtitle is "Moving from Boss to Coach." Okay, so it is important. Coaching is actually a craft. So this is a lot of what I do. So I do this on grappling and been doing it since 2003. I am interested in your development as a human, as a grappler, for example. So coaching catch, that is the exact way that I was taught when I apprenticed with Billy as a coach for 7 years. 7 years, okay? At the culmination of his wisdom, right up to his death, I was the one who discovered he passed. Like, that's how close. I named my first child after him. That's this guy. He was truly amazing to me and taught me how to learn. Gave me the greatest compliment. He never gave compliments. And he said I was a great learner, not a good learner. I mean, he never gave anybody compliments about anything. And nothing general like that. Usually it's like, oh, well, you did good on that move. Oh, cool. He did it on tape. Like, this is amazing to me. For those of you who actually met him, he was a hard ass. And said I was a great learner. Okay. But that's because I don't think it's like something intrinsic in me per se. I think it's more that that is something that the subject matter was important, and he was a fantastic coach. he helped me get from A to B, right? I was good. I'd been grappling when I met him in 2007. I had been grappling almost 14 years or something. I think I started 1994. So 13 years I had been grappling, and I was okay. I mean, I did fine. I was in great shape, and I tended, because I'm an early adopter, I kind of was ahead of the curve a lot of the time. But what ended up happening is all of a sudden the wrestlers started coming in the late 90s, and these guys were better than me. And I was like, holy shit, this is tough. That's about when I started hooking up with Carl Gotch and Billy Robinson. I was like, I need to learn this wrestling, but I don't want to learn the folk style or the Greco. I want to learn something that's relevant to grappling. And I was very fortunate to be mentored. You guys could go to carlgotch.com if you want to hear some of the mentoring calls. I put up a number of them. What's up, Darth Trainwreck, Keith Gothard, Alec, Ernest, William, good to see you. Dave says, he says, when I get back, let's talk some business. Let's do it, bro. That's wrestling and business. That's like my favorite thing, man. So you'll have no problem there. You guys could find a link to set up 15 minutes of time. And I'll talk to any of you for now till my schedule gets crazy, which is happening. As you know, I wasn't even on this show last week because I was gone traveling. I hit 3 different cities in 3 different days within the span of 3 days. And you could call it 4 if you count the camping. So I was in Denver, San Diego, Salt Lake, and then up in the mountains. So within the span of about 4 days, I was in, and that's typical for me. Okay. That said, for me, the grappling thing, I learned so much from Billy on the grappling, right? And so I want to help people become better human beings and grapplers through that on that particular deal, right? What's Dave say? I wish I could have met Billy. Yeah, he was amazing, dude. I did my best. I told everybody that I possibly could that would hear me, like, get in and train now, dude. This guy is already elderly and he's a genius and you're going to miss out. I did, and I'm still doing that. Like, I'm trying to provide these opportunities with these high level people, man. All I could do is provide the opportunity to scream as loud as I can. You have to show up, right? You have to show up. Now, I may not have known you back then, Dave. So I hope to see you at events. But so this is what really I want to help you get from A to B. Okay. So my first step, right, with now this is kind of where the business development and the business coaching comes in as well, right? I'm going to share you how I decided to do that. I did what I am good at. Other people have other things, and trust me, dude, everybody has unsolicited advice to tell me how to better do things, and I appreciate it. I will listen to it. But unless you have done more than me, you're going to understand if I don't actually listen to what you say. Okay. Like, unless you've lost the weight or unless you've actually done what I'm trying to accomplish, that's my first criteria. Now, that doesn't mean I won't listen to your idea, but I'm going to give weight to people who've actually got the recipe and can prove it. So, I started out trying to provide books. Again, I'm an English degree guy. I'm like, okay, books. And I felt it was important to start with books because at the time, some of you guys that are new to grappling may not know this, but there was like an intense kind of marketing / propaganda machine, and people had very little grappling literacy. They only thought that jiu-jitsu was like the only thing, and maybe judo, but jiu-jitsu was better and all this shit. And so the great thing about the books is I'm like, here we go. This is actual physical documentation with photographic evidence of people doing these moves at high levels prior to all this stuff. We're not doing something per se new, just slightly different, but this is an eternal thing with humans. And that was what always Carl and Billy impressed upon me, is like, man, there's nothing new. People have been wrestling since the beginning of time. Now, a lot of it might have been forgotten or reinvented or blah, 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 but dude, this has been going on for a long time. And so for me, books was great because it was, how do you argue with that? I'm like, dude, this is like artifacts, man. You can't say I'm making it up or there's some conspiracy because of your belief system. That was the first step. Then Sakuraba really got out there and proved it. And then subsequent guys like Frank Shamrock, Actually, I would say Frank maybe started the train maybe even earlier than Sakuraba. Sakuraba mostly in Japan, and Frank here in the United States. So I sought out Frank. I became a coach in Frank's system when he was still involved doing that stuff in the early 2000s. And then I started trying to teach. Now I had books, started to teach, not coach. I was teaching, I was pointing things out. Then I started hiring coaches like Mark Schultz, Wade Chalice, these guys who were wrestlers who also are interested in grappling. Started connecting with Carl Gotch, connecting with Billy Robinson, Dick Cardinal, Gene LaBelle, anybody and everybody I could that knew what the hell was going on. Red Bastine, talking to guys like Billy Wicks and things like really trying to gather all the information, still teaching. Then, like when Billy and I started hitting our groove, I started a coaching program and I started making it. This was in 2006. Dick Cardinal actually started with me first before Billy. Most people don't even know that, but we had a couple certifications, a couple coaching camps with, we had one with Fujiwara and Dick Cardinal, and then a couple more with Dick Cardinal. And then Billy came on, and everything after that was Billy until he passed. And then it was like Wade and Josh Barnett. And then I ended up taking over and us handpicked guys from Billy, like me and Sam and Jesse and Luis and unfortunately Ricky, he's got an injury and he's been doing a law enforcement thing, so he hasn't been in the mix. But I'm trying to bring him back. Anyway, so I started developing this coaching thing, but I started to realize, man, if I really want this to get bigger, I need to solve more problems for people. It's not just about making them better grapplers. And dude, I've had people that are Pride veterans, UFC fighters, WWE main eventers come and train. It's like mind blowing. It's amazing. I love it to benefit from the coaching system at Scientific Wrestling. But I realized it was going to have to be even bigger. There were bigger problems that were stopping people, like financial problems, like the fact that most people couldn't fly, pay for a flight, pay for a hotel, and pay for the coaching fee to make it happen. So I had to start solving, like, how do I actually help you guys make money? So those of you who've seen me push so hard in the last couple months for the scientificwrestler.com affiliate fight gym program, that is like basically me. Now, my undergraduate's in English, but my master's degree is in financial engineering. And I've been an entrepreneur and a business coach for over a decade, entrepreneur for 2 decades. And I have a master's in financial engineering, which is, I worked for large investment banks, making them a lot of money with that wisdom, that hard-earned wisdom, man. And I decided to put all that together, and that's the Scientific Wrestling Wrestler affiliate program. So you get not only the coaching program, you get 2 of those. Okay, so you can become a full coach with us. You get a MACE certification. I'm the guy who invented the MACE and created the MACE movement, the fitness MACE movement. You can get a certification in that to teach those classes. That's 2 different revenue streams. Then you get the resale rights to everything I've produced in the last 20 years. Go look at Scientific Wrestling, look at everything I sell on there. You get resale rights up to 50%, which means I make nothing, you make everything, and then I give the remainder to the talent, like a Josh Barnett or a Wade Chalice that I have the agreements with. But you're making all the money. So you get to teach class, grappling class, make money with that. You get to teach MACE class, make money with that. You get resale rights. You get the entire brand house, which is the greatest brand in the catch as catch can space and killing it in the grappling space too. Huge. Then you also get 6 months of business coaching with me. I am going to help you for 6 months at least, more likely longer than 6 months, because once you become an affiliate, you're my partner. And I want you to succeed because you're going to be using the Scientific Wrestling brand. And I want you to win. That's what Scientific Wrestling is about, is winning, about being number one, right? I mean, I even got this this belt here that has number 1 on it for our promotion, Shoot Pro. You also get rights as a promoter to put on King of Catch tournaments, and I'll help you put on Shoot Pro shows. Now, Shoot Pro is high end, so if you're going to bite that off, we're going to have a high end product. But anyway, So I've tried to do everything I possibly could to help people succeed in my role as a coach. That's just with the wrestling. Now, for example, what I do on the business side, right now I'm working with a whiskey distillery, trying to help them increase their revenues, turn things around, because so much has changed and it's difficult for these little mom and pops to compete with these giant, Jim Beam and all these other people. So helping them turn around their company. I've got another company that does final needs kind of stuff, like preparation for funerals, helping them. And my main gist when I go in there is the coaching angle, that these people do not want bosses and they don't want managers. They want somebody who actually cares about their development as a human being. Now, here's an interesting thing. Have you guys been watching? Do you got Netflix? What's up, Gil, Javier, Chandia, Isaac, Will, Solo, the wrestler? Happy to see you guys. Do you guys have Netflix? Have you seen Snowflake Mountain? You got to see this because this is a perfect example. So Snowflake Mountain is the premise is it's a reality show, like one of those contest shows. And there's like, I don't know how many, maybe let's call it 10 or 8 snowflakes. What's a snowflake? These overly dramatic, entitled kids who are just wusses about everything and complain and constantly playing victim and being aggressive and just not contributing. They're like mooches, basically, off their parents and the rest of society. You know what I'm talking about? Snowflake. It's not controversial, the definition. It's called Snowflake Mountain. And they take these kids, and it's like a personal development camp where these parents of these kids are like, I am sick of this shitty behavior. And they put them on this survival course. And what you get to see, which is amazing, and of course it's funny to watch these snowflakes have troubles, but what's really amazing is when they're put into these positions and the coaches there, the hosts, there's 2 guys, survival experts, you could see they actually care. Now they're not coddling them and there's consequences and these kind of things, but they are taking a coach model. They're not psychologists. They're not psychotherapists. They just are another human being invested in these people's success. This is the shift that I welcome in all of the culture. Okay. And why I don't get back down on everybody being a coach now. But you need to actually be a good coach. Right. So this is some of the stuff that I have learned from guys like Billy Robinson, Carl Gotch, Grant Cardone, Wade Chalice. Like, how do you actually coach people to perform? And what is the amount? Like you want to put numbers on the board, not participation trophies. You want to win. So what is it that you have to do, right, to make that happen? So anyway, I'm not going to belabor the point. I really appreciate you guys. As ever, I am here to help you. If I can help you on the business side, you can check me out. It's just like my logo, no1coaching.com, no1coaching.com. That's if you know somebody who has a business and maybe that business is struggling. Really what I do is I help leaders, like business leaders, somebody who owns a company. I help them change their managers into powerful coaches that end up blowing up revenues, destroying any kind of employee disengagement, which is a huge problem, and aligning the culture of the company with the mission and values of the company so everybody buys in. That's what I do. If you know anybody that needs help like that, I am here. Okay. But again, go to No1 Coaching, #1 Coaching, and there's like a Calendly link and they could set it up. I'll talk 15 minutes with anybody, see if I can help them, see what the situation is. Okay. Now, for those of you that are grapplers and you just want to get good at grappling, there's Coach and Catch. I just put up the new schedule. We've got 5 dates in the fall, 2 in California, 1 in Florida, 1 in Denver, and 1 more, and I can't remember. But you could go and look at it. Go to coachingcatch.com. It's up there as well. Register if you want to learn. We've been having fantastic results. People are loving it. I really think you would, if you're serious about grappling, I think you should check it out. We actually had Carmouche, the Bellator flyweight champ, show up at our last camp. It was awesome. She was just it's so great to work with high level athletes because you just say, this is what you do, and they actually do it. And you're like, yes, brilliant. So she's she's already crushing it, but dude, like, watch out. We put some serious tools in her toolkit. What we got? We got, hey, what's up, Ken? Bonjour. Let's see, what's he say? Is your coaching program online or in person? So I don't know which one you're talking about. The business coaching. So I just signed a contract with a company. I basically do business coaching over Zoom. We have a meeting every week. We go over challenges, fix things, accountability issues, things of that nature. And then I go on site. So that's what I was doing last Monday. I was actually in Salt Lake City on site, helping this company align and get rid of the employee disengagement and get everybody understanding the importance of revenue. Even the tax person or the janitor, everybody, like, you got to start pulling your weight. You got to figure out how to really add value to the company. That's what I was doing there. If you're interested in the grappling coaching, there's a couple avenues. I have a couple online things that I've done. I tend to think that wrestling is best done in person, but I do understand it's a challenge. Some people can't afford it. So to travel. WAR, like the word war, WAR, that's actually Billy Robinson's his acronyms, William A. Robinson, WAR. And it's called warcatchwrestling.com. That's an online course. The only one, I put it together with my friend Adam. It's the only one with Billy Robinson actually coaching you online. You can go to scientificwrestling.com. Most of the instructionals are up there. I think 80% of the ones I've produced are up on that site. You can go to BJJ Fanatics. I have 3 different DVDs, one on catch wrestling takedowns, one on submissions, catch wrestling submissions, and another one on Nelsons. So, and there's a whole host of things there. You can go to scientificwrestling.info. That has my list of recommendations of the BJJ Fanatics DVDs. But what I would really recommend is that you check out coachingcatch.com, show up at one of the camps. They're 2-day camps, definitely a grind, definitely a challenge. Definitely you will walk out there a way, not just better, like levels of magnitude better grappler if you've never come to it before and you're not familiar with these concepts. This is some sick shit that we put together. I just know this. I've been doing it for 15 years. It'll blow your mind. And if you're like wanting to also really get into actually making it sustainable, helping other people, doing what I've done, basically becoming a coach, beyond Coaching Catch, there's also the Scientific Wrestler affiliate program. So Ken, yeah. So Catch Wrestling. Yeah. So that's the best way to do it. Now, the thing is you're going to want to like sign up and get in, basically. Okay. So coachingcatch.com, scientificwrestler.com. For those of you that know somebody in business, look, there's 31 million small businesses in the United States. It is the backbone. I've done shows on this. It is the backbone. There's like 6 million firms, right? Like, so, but the majority of them have like 2 employees or less, the vast majority. So what that's saying, and also 50% of all small businesses fail in the first 5 years. It's something like 90% in 10 years. Something crazy. Okay. Why? Because they don't have coaching. It takes more than knowledge. It takes somebody who is going to hold you accountable. People a lot of times go into business, and I'm talking like, when I say small business, I mean up to 100 employees. I think that's the technical definition. And I may be wrong, but it's bigger than maybe you think. But the vast majority are like under 5 employees. All of business, and I've talked about this, business is actually an ethical and moral system. Adam Smith, the guy who wrote The Wealth of Nations, which is considered the treatise on free trade, was a moral philosopher in Glasgow, Scotland. Business is a moral and ethical system. I'm not talking corporations, big, huge ones. I'm talking the majority, the backbone, mom and pops, people who are only doing business not because they buy lobbyists in DC and enact laws that are basically enforced at the end of jails or bullets. That's not ethical, in my opinion. And there's a lot of companies that do that, including Elon Musk. So let's just call it what it is. The guy might be smart, but he doesn't adhere to what I consider to be ethical business because he gets government involved. Now, look, there might be efficacy issues like, well, he's not going to be able to do what he wants unless he does that. And I understand that, but I'm just saying, if you're using government, then you're like basically taking advantage and of the disadvantage somebody else not using government. Okay. And I get it. It's fine, whatever. But I just don't think jail and threats and all that kind of stuff belong in business. But if I can help you, go check out No1 Coaching, No1coaching.com. That shows you. I have basically 3 tracks where I help people. One, and this isn't on the website, I'm just explaining this to you guys. Intrapreneur, not entrepreneur, intrapreneur. That is for somebody who is still working for somebody else. Okay. How do you maximize that using the mindset of an entrepreneur? How do you make yourself super valuable so you never have to worry about losing your job? Like, what is it that actually businesses find important? And how is that important to you as an employee to maximize what you got? I do coaching on intrapreneurship. Okay. I also do coaching on solopreneurs. That's for people looking to actually start or transition from a job or something into actually having your own business. Okay. And that is like the majority of people, where it's like 2 people, solopreneur. Then I also coach, like I said, these businesses like the distillery or this Ceylonese company or any of the ones on actually how to run their business, grow and scale it based off of, again, my own experience, my master's degree in financial engineering, plus my mentorship with Grant Cardone and others. So if I can help you, I'm here. Please ping me, hit me up. You can do the DMs. You can go to the website. If you go to coaching, actually, if you go to Scientific Wrestler, that same Calendly link that's on No1 Coaching is there as well to set up 15 minutes. Let's discuss this because I want you to succeed. That's what I am as a coach. It's important. That's my purpose. That's what I have trained in. How I have made my living, how I put food on the table for other people is getting performance out of people. Okay. Whether that be grappling or it is in business, right? Or the combination of the two. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day. I am wrapping up the podcast. I've been on 52 minutes. And if you can't tell, I'm a little tired after my last couple weeks. It's been crazy, man. Utah is interesting. I used to live there and I forgot what bad drivers. I live in California. Man, California ain't great either. But man, Utah, I was like, I felt like I was been on the Mormon 500, dude. Like everybody racing past me and cutting me off. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm just trying to get from A to B. So anyway, appreciate you guys letting me bend your ear. Hit me up. Check out scientificwrestler.com if that can help you. Coachingcatch.com if that can help you, or No1 Coaching if that can help you. I appreciate you guys. As ever, hit me up. I'm here to help. Thanks. Bye.